Morning, everybody. Welcome to
What
Lockpod,
was that?
Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast. Happy Pi Day, 314.
Yes.
Happy
the nerdiest day of the year.
Yeah, and happy pre-St. Patrick's Day, which is not a nerdy day. This is the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast, Lockpod, Left of Center Podcast, coming to you live from the NECA IBEW Power in Indiana Lake County Studios.
Episode 21.
Yes.
You know what I found out about Pi Day? I didn't know this, but like at grade schools, like your parents bring pies for the kids, and there's pizza pie on sale. I saw the math behind a perfect Pi Day in California pizza kitchen.
So, Kevin, like everyone knows 3.14159. Do you know the number after that?
192, 3.14151.
It's like infinite, right?
Let's see.
I don't. 3.14159.
It's on the digital board,
right.
though.
I thought you would know. Of all
I had
people.
9-2. I just forgot.
Kevin's
I had
like
a
one of those
one.
guys in high school that knew like the first 14.
No.
Sure.
It's 149263887.
Math was not.
I'm gonna
my
watch Lord of the
go-to.
Rings.
I don't have any girlfriends.
I was not a math guy.
You were a pimp in high school. I know you were.
No.
He
I
was a pimp
not.
in high
I hung
school.
around.
I
I hung
was
around
a
the pimps. I didn't.
I did
was
not
a
hang around.
pimp.
That's the title. I hung around the
pimps.
You're
There you
pimp
go.
adjacent.
Pimp adjacent.
I
Adjacent
got
to
the
pimps.
yes. I got the scraps
Pimp
from the
adjacent.
pimps.
That was my nickname. Pimp adjacent.
I think
funny.
we're all delirious from last night. Still.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, great
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah,
I
really
stayed
fun.
till 7:45. I was really proud of myself.
You weren't joking around.
5 o'clock. It started at 5.
Yeah.
So 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Mayor
I did
had his
solid.
Kelly. I love that Kelly green jacket you had
Yeah,
on.
yeah. It was my Friendly Sons. I got a busy St. Patrick's Day. I have. So we had last night my annual St. Patrick's Day fundraiser.
Yeah. Can I show this?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is awesome. I love these lights, man.
Yeah, they did that for the Hall of Fame, not for us. But we're always right behind the Sports Hall of Fame, so we get the lights during St. Patrick's Day event at the Civic Center, which is really nice. There's 500 people probably there.
People asked me, and I said probably about 600. So yeah, you're right, 500-600 people. It was packed. It was really nice. A lot of food, obviously great corned beef and cabbage. A lot of fun.
I
Good
didn't get to
DJ.
eat again.
I didn't eat it either. I went out after.
Did you eat?
Wasn't
Anyway?
there?
I didn't eat. No.
How come?
What?
I have a life.
I have a life.
All of us are like,
That's all right.
We don't have lives.
Yeah, sorry, Joe.
I actually wallpapered my guest bedroom yesterday.
That's cool shit. Whatever.
This is Shauna in this picture. Always good seeing Shauna.
Oh yeah,
Hey,
Shauna was there.
Yes.
She's listening, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of people there. It's I think one of the best parts about this fundraiser that you have, and you've had it for 22 years now, is it's like one of those things. It's almost like bringing in the spring.
Yeah.
You know, it's like everyone's been like holed up for winter.
Yep.
And it's like St. Patrick's Day's coming. You feel like spring's here, and everyone gets out and has a good time. So
Yeah, it's super cool.
Really
it was
good.
a nice event.
it sure was.
Yeah.
Your dad was there.
Yeah,
It's cool to see him.
I was actually surprised about that because we try not to take him in loud places. 'Cause it's hard
okay.
for him. It's real hard for him in loud places, but he was there. Brett was right by his side. Lynette was right by his side. But the hard thing is everybody wants to talk to him, and it's hard for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Because they're like, "Hey, Tom, how's it going?" Blah 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 blah, and he's just like,
Yep.
trying to like understand after "Hey, Tom."
I
And
did
they're
not
already
get
in.
over to see him. I'm bummed about that.
Yeah, it was good to see him. But that was nice. It was nice. But yeah, so like tonight we have Friendly Sons of Erin. Tomorrow I have freaking St. Patrick's Day parade. Just like bam,
It's a weekend.
bam, bam. Yeah,
Keep your green. Luckily, you've got a lot of green.
yeah.
in your
I do have a lot
wardrobe.
of green. This is my weekend. So
And Chase's birthday officially on
Chase's-
St. Patrick's Day, right? Which is what, Monday?
is it Monday?
I think so. 17th
today's
is Monday,
Pi Day,
right?
yeah.
Today's Pi Day, yeah.
Yeah.
What
yeah.
happened? What is this in the note about Tom gave birth to Chase?
Oh,
what
it
are
was
you
just something
talking
funny.
about?
It
Was
just
that
something-
during a speech or
I
something?
was just trying to say
Yeah,
happy
he was just
birthday.
saying happy birthday to him.
And I was like, I gave birth to Chase.
I think I corrected
in the
himself. He's
speech in
like, I
front of-
really didn't give birth to Chase, but I had
And
something
then
to
I
do with
like
it.
doubled down on it. I was like, I didn't give birth to Chase. Yeah, I had a part to do with
I
it.
think you said
yeah,
you had something to do with it.
Yeah, it was embarrassing.
Great speech.
Thank you.
No, it was good.
I'm good on the stump. What could I say?
Yeah.
What's this about the full worm blood moon?
Oh, yeah. So I passed out on the couch, and I had every intention to set my alarm at 1:30 and get up to see the only total lunar eclipse we're going to have until 2029.
Is that when it goes completely red?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's like, yes, exactly. It's like a scarlet or something, and it was a clear night. and the moon was out, and I was going to be able to see it, and then I didn't wake up. So I was just wondering if anybody in chat
You know who got
made
really
it
good
up.
pictures?
Who?
Was Joey.
Lex Salinas.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Posted
Joey,
them on his
put him on.
Instagram.
Really?
Put him on
They're
chat, Joey.
great.
Drop them in chat. I don't know
Yeah,
if you can post pictures
Joey
in
usually
chat.
listens, so hopefully
Yeah.
he's listening and can post them. Yeah,
Joey,
it was-
drop the link in chat.
I didn't even know that was going down.
Yeah. There it was.
Of course, I have a life, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Your
That's why you didn't know?
wallpaper in your
I'm
your
not paying
bathroom.
attention to the fucking moon. When I have better things going on with my life than
That comment's going to haunt Tom all day.
Pimp
I know.
adjacent.
Kevin. You mean
Kevin.
Yeah.
No, but I was driving home, and I saw the moon. It looked like this at the time. Are you saying it got more red?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Really?
I missed that.
That'd have been cool.
Yeah.
That's too bad.
All right, Joey's going to hook us up, though.
All right, good.
Is he? That's cool.
So this was, I mean, Tom, I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this, but this happened on the White House lawn.
I knew you were going to go there. Honestly, that's a first segment kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
You can't ignore the fact
No.
that President Trump is trying to help out his billionaire buddy by selling Teslas on the White House lawn.
It became like a mini dealership.
And it was literally Elon gave the president notes. You know, this is what you say. This is what you say. This is how much it costs. And I thought it was interesting that while this is going on, you know, the stock market's been dropping a lot. We've been talking about that on LockPod. And while this was going on, the market was down 600 or 700 points at that point, simultaneous to President Trump shilling for his billionaire buddy.
That's such a perfect word.
Yeah.
It was it was like a shill.
Yeah.
It was so bizarre, John, right? Bizarro world.
Yeah.
There were Teslas all along the White House driveway, and Trump is giving. It was like an ad.
So before I knew Biden did this with EV Hummers, I still didn't like it. I just didn't like the vibe of this whole thing.
Biden did this with EV Hummers?
Yeah, I guess he did, and I didn't know that at the time when I saw this.
I don't remember
But he
that.
didn't have it with the owner of Hummer standing next to him, and after he'd been crying all week about how his business is going down the tubes.
Let's watch this.
Yeah.
The clip's a little low, but I got it maxed here. Just listen here.
Which is $35,000, which is pretty low. What is that all about?
Yeah, I guess we want to make the point that Teslas aren't all expensive. You can get a Tesla for as little as $35,000.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank the president for his support. This means a lot. And also thank everyone out there who is supporting Tesla. It's really terrible that there's so much violence being perpetrated against people like Tesla supporters, Tesla.
So he says, if you couldn't hear that, Trump goes, they're as low as 35,000. That's pretty low. What's that about? By the way, and I don't want to sound like this is the working class part of me coming out, but 35 is not that low in my opinion.
No, I agree.
I totally
they're
agree
talking
with you.
about everybody can go get a Tesla right now.
It's I found that in my couch.
yeah.
Oh, 35 grand? Let me go
35
get
grand?
it.
Shit, that's it? God dang.
And the rates are 7%, by the way, 8% if you want to buy a car.
Actually, and I don't want to shill for Tesla here, but dude, things are so bad they have 0% interest right now in Tesla.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
That's
yes.
nice. That's
yes.
nice.
I don't know if I'd want to be driving one.
Well, they're making up for the fact that it's going to be smashed. The window's going to be smashed as soon as you drive off the.
Yeah.
graffitied in the morning.
Graffiti on them.
Yeah.
I honestly, when I see a Tesla, it is an unnatural reaction of hate comes out of me.
I'm
Really?
like-
It's that bad?
I see. No, not so much the Tesla. When I see the Cybertruck,
Cybertrucks?
I want to
Yeah.
fucking punch walls.
It's 100 and some grand.
Not just that. It's just you are. And I feel bad because they could be on our team. They could be. And they were just big Elon Musk fans and they care about the environment. And now people look at him with hatred.
It's
just
crazy.
you
Yeah,
asshole.
it's interesting to see. I'll be interested to see what Tesla's numbers are when they come out. When are they due, by the way?
I think they
Probably
just-
April. Or they,
I don't know. I don't follow Tesla.
it's
going to
be crazy. So.
But I think Elon Musk has ruined that company.
yeah, I mean, it's almost like one of those things where he should get out.
Yeah.
And let somebody else run it.
And then they
step
rename
away.
it. And
Yeah.
they rename it. They call it Leaf or something like that. They completely revamp, and it's the same model, it's the same everything, except for they just disassociate, from Elon
rebrand,
Musk
get away from
entirely.
Elon, and let him save the
Yeah,
money. Let him save
we're the
brand.
anti-Elon company. Elon Musk has nothing to do with us. So
I don't think Elon cares that much about Tesla anymore. I got to be honest. I think
he
he's
cares as
moved
much
on.
as he cares about X, probably.
Yeah. This
Hey,
is here's the update.
Did you see the Donnie? Oh, that was last night.
That was
Yeah.
last night.
Was that in the region? It looks too nice to be in the region.
It's great
St.
question.
John.
That was
St.
in St. John. Oh, okay. That makes
No,
sense.
well, it's fancy down there.
How
Of
is
course,
it?
they had a nice moon.
They have a nicer mood than
It was
we
real
do.
cloudy in Hammond.
Hammond's moon sucks.
That's called pollution, Kevin. That's pollution.
Joey got up at 3 in the here it is,
Whoa.
3:21 a.m.
Look at
Good
that.
That's
job,
how
Joey.
do you even get a shot
Dude,
that
that is
close?
a crazy picture.
Yeah, if you're watching, this is unbelievable. You can go to Joey Lax Salinas on Instagram. That's LAX for Joey Lax Salinas on Instagram. Check it out.
It's like you could see the surface of the moon pretty clearly.
It's like there's
man.
a city right there. Like what is
Yeah.
going
It's
on?
got this like pink hue. Really cool.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Nice.
Hey, did you guys see that? I put up a link to a TikTok I found funny that made fun of the president over the selling. It's called
awesome.
the one labeled Donnie's Auto
Yeah,
Mart.
this is so good.
Donnie's Auto Mart. Check this out, guys.
This is great.
Yeah.
Come on down to Donnie's Automart. Pick yourself up a brand new Tesla 2025.
If you don't buy a Tesla, I will have you arrested. Don't forget my mandate.
You know the swastika price on this car? Comes with all the trimmings. 2 windbags, IBS, no climate control because that's a hoax. Not to mention the extra space in the back seat for special guests. Plus, every Tesla is graffiti proof. Sort of.
After a busy day of sucking up to Donald, I like to then pivot to sucking up to Elon Musk. Anything to spend 0 time with Eric and my kids. Plus, I do some of my best singing in the car.
Every car has gotta go. No, really, because these are a security risk. These things blow up. Get your Tesla today before these two turn on each other. What are you waiting for? The stock market? That's cooked. If you come to Donnie's Auto Mart today, we will throw in a dozen eggs. You know the price on that? So come to Donnie's Auto Mart, where they're jumping for joy.
Look for our special federal employee discount. To redeem, you must sign some special paperwork.
So I just wanted to make a statement. I'm going to buy one. Now, here's the bad news. I'm not allowed to drive.
Dude, that is hilarious.
Phenomenal, right?
Classic. People have a lot of time on their hands, thankfully.
Even Republicans can laugh at that.
That is some funny.
It's really good. And by the way, John, I put another link in there just since Republicans are hawking things.
Yeah.
This was so bizarre of RFK on Fox News. And actually, is that Hannity with him?
Yes.
And like Hannity, like it's kind of like,
Where are they?
Hey man, they're
Dude.
at a Steak and Shake. This is crazy.
They're literally in a restaurant.
Yeah, and listen how Hannity.
Fox News
Yes.
is doing an interview of RFK, the Health and Human Services Secretary. Fox News in a Steak and Shake. There's people in the background eating burgers.
I bet he
Yes.
didn't wash his hands before.
And of
this.
course,
Yeah?
he's supposed to be helping health, so why not eat fried food? Here we go. Watch this.
I honestly, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't even want to. We're gonna play it. I don't even want to because I watched this morning.
Really?
And it looks so bad.
I haven't
for,
seen it.
It's
for
so
my side.
bad.
Yeah? Okay, let's see it.
So
And listen to
out of touch.
Hannity, by the way, bitch about his
such a
Coke. He's
jerk,
such a
dude.
jag. All right, here, this is great.
Beef tallow.
Oh, by the way, here you go.
If you just take the red mask, and I'll take those trays back for you. Okay?
Oh, okay. Is that?
This is you, Sean.
Oh, this is me. Okay, thank you.
And Secretary, this is for you. All right, gentlemen. Enjoy.
Thank you. You didn't pick up my Coke, did you?
Get your Coke. I got you, buddy.
Miss Small with the little ice. But I'm not going to drink it all because he's going to yell at me. I'm only kidding.
And Steak and Shake just switched out, and people are raving about these French fries. You taste them,
They're
I taste
amazing.
them.
They really are. I'm not. This is not.
When I was a kid, I traveled in Europe.
Who doesn't?
Europe is great. Always had great food. The French fries were always a disappointment because we had the best French fries here. They had pommes frites over there, and they just didn't taste right. Today, the best French fries in the world are in Europe. I order them every time I go to Belgium or France or any place else. And the French fries.
I can't watch it.
What the hell is
What was that
I
about?
can't watch anymore.
They're
What is
pumping.
that
They're
about?
pumping up Steak and Shake. As you go on, he starts saying how great Steak and Shake is. The guy brings his Coke over with just a little bit of ice. And can you believe RFK's basically like, just like who doesn't go over to Europe and order pommes frites whenever he goes to Belgium or France? And they're chowing down on French fries and talking about how great the Steak and Shake French fries are.
It just adds to like 35,000 is a really low price
Yes!
for a car.
Right.
I'm eating pommes frites in Belgium as a kid.
Hannity's, telling the African American manager to go get him a Coke with just a little.
You forgot
bit
my
of ice.
Coke, asshole. Little bit of ice.
They look so uncomfortable, like they've never been in any kind of situation
Oh,
like that. Like,
Joe,
they have no
this
idea
is the
how to
first-
function.
They're like, how does this work, dude?
There's a tray. What?
So this tracks for Hannity, though. Here's the quick story from a friend of mine who saw Hannity coming out of a hotel. And he looked at Hannity. Hannity looked at him and locked eyes with him until the guy looked away. Like it was like a
stare down.
like an alpha thing. Like he has to be better than everybody. I don't know, but that's what I thought of when I heard Hannity ordering this like Coke,
Just a
low
little
ice,
bit of ice.
Small. You forgot my Coke. It's so bizarre.
Pinkies up.
Yeah,
it's insane.
There they are hawking. What's gonna be hawked on the White House lawn next week?
I didn't know you could hawk stuff as a politician. I'm going to start thinking about what could I hawk. Like I didn't know I could make some extra income on the side by hawking shit.
It's just a tip after the fact, man.
My God, I go to restaurants all the time. I'm going to go to a restaurant and be like, hey, listen, I'm going to do a video here. You're going to pay me $10,000. How about that? Right? I didn't even know this was possible. This is awesome. Like, what would I hawk? I mean, I could hawk some Mexican food like nobody's business.
Not from jalapenos, though. I think you burned that bridge.
I burned a lot of Mexican food bridges.
You did.
Yeah, I literally have one place I can go to right now.
I burned a lot of Mexican food bridges.
I have to travel like 45 minutes away to eat Mexican food.
Get your tacos.
Yes.
So funny.
All right, listen. We've got actually a pretty good show coming up. Tom's got actually,
as opposed to our normal shit we put out.
Wait,
actually,
this
is a shitty show normally, but today, medium
it's
quality.
Okay.
It's Friday.
Let me wrap up this segment real quick. By we, I mean the Republicans won the election. I think pretty like a big part of it was connecting with the middle class, the working class,
for sure.
What I'm seeing now is the complete opposite of this.
Just buy your Tesla and shut up.
Okay.
Which makes you wonder. if the messaging was just all to win an election. Here we go.
I don't know.
Yeah,
you're right, John. Yeah. You guys won the election by connecting with people that had no business voting for Donald Trump, in my opinion. And now that they won, it's like, screw you, people. We're moving on. We're buying our palm frites, and
I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. But,
well, all right. We're only 45
You know what,
days
John? In 3 years, they'll try to reconnect again. I promise.
Don't worry. It's coming back. All right, we're gonna do some ads and come back. Actually, we've got. I did it again, but
Oops,
got a fun episode coming up at the end. Tom's going to talk about financial markets, and I think it's actually a really good take on what's happening.
That sounds like fun.
And
stick around.
And we're
going to talk some finance. Woo!
And
I'm out.
Stay tuned because we've got a big festival announcement coming up.
We are coming back to announce a festival act as soon as we get back from break. And Kevin is right. If you're wondering what's going on with the financial markets, the third segment today, we're just going to do a quick segment on, last show we talked about Donald Trump is trying to crash the markets, and it just doesn't make sense. Why would the president want to crash the market? Well, I've done some more research, and I came up with a solid theory that's being promoted right now on why it's important to crash the markets right now. And it's pretty interesting, and it's something to think about. So especially if you have your 401k sitting there and you're wondering what's going on, stick around for our third segment. So let's go ahead and start off right now and say thank you to Power in Indiana, Lake County, our premier studio and sign sponsors. Power in Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Power in Indiana, Lake County, they set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana businesses and homes alike. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Power in Indiana, Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at powerindiana.org.
Calumet Brewing Busch Light, the coldest and smoothest light lager around, is the second fastest growing beer in the country, and we're serious about cracking a cold one and heading for the mountains. We get excited about 30 packs in a cooler, reeling in a big fish, supporting the farming community, hunting season, and cranking up some country music. As the official beer of NASCAR and the professional bull riders, Busch Light is always cold and smooth and waiting for you. Head over to CalBrew or the Busch Light websites and social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy a Busch Light with beers and cheers responsibly.
Prestmer Insurance Agency. For decades, the Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestmer Agency specializes in a wide variety and range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. Prestmer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outdoor patio serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Struggling with immigration paperwork? Need a visa, green card, or help with naturalization? Kuklakis Law is here to guide you every step of the way. Our attorneys have the expertise to guide you through the complex processes of family immigration, humanitarian relief, and naturalization with ease. Don't face immigration challenges alone. Call Kuklakis Law at 219-671-6347 to schedule a free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business. Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit RogersRoofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's RogersRoofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
Thank you.
Thanks to our ads and thanks to our sponsors, including Power in Indiana, Lake County Studios.
It was great to see a lot of our sponsors last night.
Sure was.
So, hey, one more thing before we announce this. I saw something interesting in the paper today about a friend of the show. Pete Buttigieg made an announcement. He's not running for U.S. Senate in Michigan.
Not running.
That's a big story. Yeah, did you guys see that?
No.
That's a big story because I met a young lady from Michigan who is basically she was lining up to run, and then Pete said he was going to run, and I was thinking how interesting it was. Her name's Mallory McMorrow.
Yeah,
she's like shot.
Show.
Yeah, she's like shot out of a cannon. It's funny how things work, but she was like shot out of a cannon. They're like, this is the new it woman in the Democratic Party. And then she came and she went on the speaker circuit. It's so funny how things like that work.
She came to Indiana Democrats. We saw her
she's
down
great.
in
She's a
Indiana
nice young lady. I met her and her husband. But it's funny how that works, Kevin. It's like somebody, I don't know who it is, somebody makes the decision like, this is our lady now. We like her. Yeah. So she's going to do the circuit. She's going to go around and talk to people. And it was sort of like that in Indiana a couple years ago. She came to speak at our Obama dinner, or whatever dinner we have now. And then she came down, and she's a nice young lady. And obviously, she's a native of Michigan. She grew up in Michigan, lived there her whole life. She's a daughter of Michigan. And then you got Pete Buttigieg, who's originally a Hoosier, marries a gentleman from Michigan. They moved to Traverse City. And obviously, Pete Buttigieg is a national figure. So I had this little interesting dilemma in my life where I know Mallory, and I appreciate her, and I respect her. And then, and you would think that that'd be the person most of the people in the party are going to support. And then all of a sudden, Buttigieg is in town.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm thinking about running for U.S. Senate also. And it was interesting. It's like, okay, you got this guy that's not from Michigan, but he's nationally famous. And you got this young lady that's Michigan, a daughter of Michigan, and they're going to square off in a primary.
Yeah, in my mind, I thought if Buttigieg was able to run and win that seat, it'd be a springboard for 2028 because he'd be back in the national spotlight in the Senate.
I don't agree with that.
But
I think that's why he decided not to run.
You think he's not running because he wants to run for in 2020
I think
and gear up for president?
This is how I think. Him running for U.S. Senate in Michigan is a step up if he gets elected, but it's going to be a bruising fight. Because, like, Mallory isn't going to back down. She's from Michigan.
Yeah.
She's going to say things like he's a carpetbagger.
Yeah.
He's not from Michigan. He moved here just to take advantage of us Michiganders, and he's trying to grab a U.S. Senate seat to be famous. Sure. She's going to say stuff like that and just slime him.
So, in other words, avoid the bruising battle and just gear up for 28.
Right. Because then he has all this slime that he got from a Democratic primary, and if he was successful and becomes a U.S. Senate, he's got to turn around a year later and run for president. It's a bad look.
It's a tough...
Yeah, it looks like when you're mayor and you run for mayor and then you turn around a year later and run for governor. It's the same kind of thing. It looks insincere. Like, why did you run for mayor and then you turn around and run for governor? It would be the same thing for Pete. Like, why did you run for a 6-year term in Michigan and then 1 year later you turn around and run for president?
I mean, people do that and try to do it.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's always successful. Yeah, I mean,
it looks political.
Well, in my mind, I guess I just thought he wanted to get back on the national stage, but I think you're probably right. He already has that national kind of persona now because he was Department of Transportation Secretary, and so he doesn't need to maybe get that through the Senate. And you're right, he would have had to go through dealing with a bruising primary.
It would definitely be controversial because it would be controversial if somebody move to Indiana to run here. I don't know which Democrat would ever do that. He's like, I'm moving to Indiana to run. Like, what?
Well, people are saying that's why Pete moved away, right? Like, he'll run for governor. He'll run for Senate.
People do say that. I would never be so skeptical to say something like that. But I think Pete is a very ambitious, smart, calculating elected official.
Calculating is a really good word, I think.
And I'm not trying to be negative about it.
I
I'm
agree.
just being honest. Yeah. Pete is an elected official. His life is, he's a politician. He's made his career in politics, and he's like, where is my career going to be best? Should I stay a Hoosier, a Democrat Hoosier? And if I'm a politician in Indiana, it's not going to be a very successful career in Pete's opinion. So he's like, Chasten, you're from Michigan. And in Pete's head, he's like, Michigan hasn't elected a Republican senator in 50 years, something like that.
Been a while.
Right. So Pete's like, if I move to my husband's state, my career is going to be more beneficial. And there he is. And I'm not trying to be negative by that.
No, I mean, I think that's right. Calculating in a good way. Like, he's thinking about his next step, like 2 steps ahead.
It's sad that a guy from Indiana who's so talented like Pete feels like he can't be successful in his career.
Yeah.
So he had to move away to Michigan, where he'll have a chance because he's a gay man. And unfortunately, in Indiana, he doesn't feel like this state is ready to elect a gay man to the U.S. Senate or as governor of the state. So it's very sad.
So do you think he runs for president?
Yes, I definitely do. I think that's exactly what this means. He didn't want to get slimed in a primary because he would have been. So, and why? He's Pete. Pete's going to raise tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars by just putting his name on the ballot. He doesn't need to be a senator, you know?
And I also saw a recent comment he gave at a DNC meeting where he was kind of ripping wokeness and the left and,
yeah,
stuff like that.
They're all moving towards the
They're
center.
They're all coming to where Tom McDermott
Thank
is.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It pisses me off a little bit. A little bit, Pete, no offense. It pisses me off a little bit. I've been very consistent over here. It does, man. It's like all of a sudden Gavin Newsom's like anti-trans. What the fuck? Are you serious?
Dude.
You can't fucking whitewash your history. You can't do that. And I'm not saying this about Pete. I'm saying it about Gavin. Get the fuck out of here. You are the one that pushed us to the left so far, Gavin. All due respect. So now you can't just like have a podcast and suddenly change who you are. I have 350 something fucking episodes of being who I am. Gavin has 2 under his belt, and he's trying to change his whole history.
He's interviewing Charlie Kirk, Michael Savage, Steve Bannon. Can you guys see? He's playing the conservatives like a fiddle right now, by the way.
For sure.
He's having these people on, and he's gaining these brownie points by trying to appear more center. I'm telling you, this is fascinating.
It's not
You're
working.
right, Tom.
It's not working.
No,
no,
it's not. It's not.
Well, it's like they're finally waking up and realizing that it wasn't a good idea to move to the left. I mean,
yes.
So it's like, hello.
Yeah, that's why everything's so messed up right now, is because they went so far to the left. And when I say they, I'm including Pete Buttigieg in there, including Gavin Newsom, and of course the president, and Kamala, and they pulled us to the left so far that there's nowhere to go now.
I mean, we've been talking about this. Even I'm just going back to like your Senate race about how we need Midwestern moderate Democrats to kind of lead the way to show the rest of the coasts this is how you win. You got to win elections by coming to the middle, because that's where most of America is.
By the way, Kevin, you'll appreciate this. Pete Buttigieg announced he's not running for Senate in Michigan on his Substack.
Nice. Hell yeah.
What is that?
Kevin's been pumping Substack.
We did it on the pod, remember? Yeah, it's like it's a place for like newsletters and
you
things
publish
like that.
your own material.
Right. Yeah,
we did that.
Awesome.
Didn't we use that during my Senate campaign?
No, we did not use Substack.
What was that program you guys were using in my Senate campaign?
That was
you guys
Slack.
Slack.
Oh, Slack. That was
Substack.
internal.
Okay.
Yeah. Substack is great. We've talked about it on the pod a couple of weeks ago. I follow some Substack now.
Really?
I liked, and Elon got in a fight with this guy on Substack.
Oh, that's
remember?
right.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah. So.
All right. How about doing a Festival of the Lake announcement?
Yes.
What do you think, John? John, could you do the special announcement?
Absolutely. Where is it?
Festival of the Lakes Sunday night announcement right here on Lockpod. You heard it first here. Mayor.
All right, we're doing the Latin Night announcement. This is a band that's currently very relevant south of the border right now, and we're very excited to announce that on Latin Night this year. Latin Night, it's Sunday, but what's the date on that? Oh, July 20th. So we're talking Sunday, July 20th, Latin Night, Festival of the Lakes, always on Sunday. We're excited to announce that La Arrolladora Banda El Limon de Rene Camacho will be joining us at the Festival of the Lakes.
Say that 10 times.
La Arrolladora Banda El Limon de Rene Camacho will be joining us at the festival.
arrolladora. La arrolladora. La arrolladora.
That's Eileen doing her Duolingo for you.
That was pretty. La Arrolladora. La Arrolladora.
That was pretty
La
close.
Arrolladora. See?
That was good.
You have to roll the R's. La Arrolladora.
La arrolladora.
La Arrolladora.
Arrolladora.
La Arrolladora.
Arrolladora.
La Arrolladora.
She's got the R's down.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Yeah.
That's
So
some rolling.
with their signature fusion of traditional and modern sound, La Arrolladora has been captivating fans worldwide. Enjoy their greatest hits, including Ya te perde la fe and Ya es muy tarde. I know what that means. You're
late.
You're very late. Right? What is Ya te perde la fe?
That I don't know.
Jill?
You something.
When you drop a French band, I'm all over it.
Okay, how about this? Okay, and aquí hay para llevar.
Why something?
Here. Why?
No,
I don't know.
Boy. Eileen, help.
Don't miss your chance to see La Arrolladora live in action. VIP experience upgrades are available now at festivallakes.com, and they're expected to sell out quickly. So make sure to secure yours today and be part of the incredible musical experience. Pre-sale and early bird VIP upgrades are only $75, but they go up in price to $100 soon. So make sure to upgrade at this great price now.
Yeah. So these are available now.
Yes, sir.
I just checked.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so La Arrolladora. La Arrolladora. La Arrolladora.
Banda El Limón de René Camacho.
La
You're missing
Arrolladora.
75% of the name.
I'm just focusing on the one guy.
La Arrolladora.
La Arrolladora.
What does that mean? Arrolladora.
Just Google it.
Yeah, dude.
Band
you got
the Lime.
Band of lime. Lime band. And they're in red.
All right, these guys are going to be great, guys.
So white.
One thing about Festival of the Lakes, Latin night, it's jam packed. We've had our biggest night was Latin night. It was what was the name of that?
Banda. Oh, Les Tucanes?
It's just
Los
Banda.
Tucanes de
It's a Banda.
Tijuana.
Los Tucanes de Tijuana.
Yes.
20,000+ people showed up to that. It's an incredible experience. The food is amazing. It's a family atmosphere. Sunday at the Festival of Lakes it's more like an all day kind of thing. People start getting there in the afternoon and they stay until 10 or 11 o'clock at night when we shut the place down. So Latin night with La Arrolladora is going to be epic.
You're getting better at
as usual. Well, that helped when you played Eileen
Eileen,
three times in a row. So.
Duolingo. Thank you,
Yeah,
Eileen.
so thank you. We're going to announce. We have 4 of our 5 bands lined up right now. So we have 2 more. We're still planning on announcing. We're going to announce them right here. And tickets, as soon as we announce it on the show here, tickets go on sale immediately after. And don't forget that on the 17th, that's Thursday night, we already announced the Country Act. Brantley Gilbert is playing Festival of Lakes. Tickets have been on sale, and they're going very well.
Yeah, really, really nice to see how many early bird VIP experience passes are being sold. So get them now.
That's a limited, the grass, you can go there and watch the show for free, no doubt about it. But if you want to be up close, the VIP experience has a limited number of tickets because we have to give our sponsors tickets, of course. So that limits the number of VIP experience. If you want to get close to La Arrolladora or if you want to get close to Brantley Gilbert, you're going to have to buy in to VIP experience. Otherwise, you could sit on the grass and watch the show from back there. So
I think like us trying to pronounce this band name is like RFK Jr. talking about palm frites.
When I was in Europe with my palm frites.
Let's move on.
Wow.
What?
When I was a kid. No, I'm just saying.
I
It's
thought you were mad
amazing.
because-
No, it's amazing to me. Like, just he says, like, I used to go to Belgium or France, and it's just like an everyday thing.
Yeah.
He's so out of touch.
When my dad would take me skydiving on our private jet.
The food is better in Europe, though.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying.
In the palm frites.
He acts like, why isn't everyone over there?
When I eat my
Except the palm frites.
I like to eat my palm frites in Belgium because they have a special coating. All right. Do special elections in Iowa mean that people are reacting to Trump's 50 days in office? This is a section you put in there, Kevin.
It is. I was just kind of interested to see, I get all these, we got, like, I'm sure a lot of people get these like ads or texts about trying to help about these 3 runoff elections that are coming up for the House, the actual, for Congress. And there were a couple recent special elections in Iowa that just kind of surprised me.
This is crazy.
Right? And this is Senate District 35 in Iowa. It went for Trump plus 21 just a year ago. So in November, it was 21 points, 60 to 39 in favor of Trump. It just flipped and went 52-48 Democrat.
How?
That is
How?
That's 4 months. Not even, right, 3 months.
I mean, it's obvious a reaction to what's going on in D.C. right now. There's no doubt.
Yeah, and that was shocking. And then there was another race that didn't flip, but it was House District 100 in Iowa also. These just happen to be happening in Iowa due to deaths of people or people
It
that
happens all the
vacated.
time. We have special elections all the time because there's 435 reps and sometimes they pass.
And in that race, the Republican held the seat, but only by 3.5 points. It was 52-48. Trump won 63-36. So that doesn't. These aren't like tons of votes.
Oh, these
right?
are state house races.
These are state house races,
Gotcha.
but special elections. So it's pretty amazing. And the reason I bring those up is because there are 3 House special elections coming up. The one is Florida First, which is where Gates was, that he vacated. That's coming up April 1st.
Can I read that, by the way?
Sure.
This is still crazy to me. Okay, let me just read this. This seat, previously occupied by Matt Gaetz, who resigned after President-elect Trump nominated him for Attorney General of the United States. Gaetz later withdrew his nomination. Then the following day, Gaetz announced he would not return to Congress. What's not in this note is Gaetz has went on to be a host on Newsmax.
Yeah.
This is still, to me, like there's gonna be a Netflix show about
But
this.
why would this whole detour was done so that he would not be a member of the House anymore, so that they couldn't go forward with that congressional investigation? That's why they did the whole thing. Is the House Ethics Committee was about to release a report on a House member, so Donald Trump appoints him to be the Attorney General,
him, right?
and then he drops out. Yeah. The thing about the House Ethics Committee and this report is they have a tendency not to release the report if you're no longer a member of the House, because they use it as leverage to get you to resign, basically. So in this case, they're like, hey, we got to drop this if you're a member of the House. And he's like, hey, I'm not a member of the House anymore. I'm going to be Attorney General. So they kill the report.
And part of it leaked.
Yeah,
Remember
they
the
still
map?
released part of it.
That's right.
The map connecting him to all these people.
The
Cash App map.
The Cash
The
App
Zelle map.
Yeah, man. It was crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, that's coming up April 1st. And by the way, the Donald Trump won that district with 68% of the vote, and it's an R plus 19, meaning Republicans should win that by 19%. So we're going to see what happens in that one. There's a race in Florida's 6th congressional district, which is vacated by another nominee. I think his name is Waltz, for the National Security Advisor. There it was also 2-1, 66-33 in 2024. That's coming up April 1st. And then another one, this is an interesting one to me. In New York's 21st congressional district, that's in the far northeast corner of New York State near Vermont. That's where Elise Stefanik is, and we all know her. She's going to be most likely the UN ambassador. And that race was 62-38. But she hasn't vacated it yet. John, I think I've heard this is because the Speaker of the House needs her vote because it's so tight.
Oh, wow.
And so they're not even putting her nomination before the Senate yet.
Gotcha.
So that special election hasn't even been scheduled yet. So we've got 2 coming up April 1st. Keep an eye on those because it's not only April Fool's Day, but it's also going to be 2 congressional races in Florida that are going to be up for election. They should stay Republican based on how they've been over the years, but it'll be interesting to see if Democrats can cut the margins.
Dapo says no to data center. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Data center seems like
it's like a 4-letter word all of a sudden.
Of a sudden, people are like, fuck data centers. We don't want that in our backyard. And
Yeah.
I'm more than happy to take that data center in Hammond that wanted to go to Valpo.
And that's why I put this in here.
Come
because
on over.
I wanted you to talk about why you felt that data centers have been good for Hammond.
Listen, I get it in Valpo, in Chesterton. It's like sleepy little bedroom communities, and they're talking about taking like 30, 40 acres of land that they wanted to make a park and put a data center there. So I get it, okay? But in cities like Hammond, where we're building our data center, it's nowhere near houses. It's near water, which is used to cool the computers in the data centers, and they are noisy, and they do make a buzz. And quite frankly, if they're located right off the lake where we put them in Hammond, it doesn't bother anybody. So the fact is, I get why Valpo's saying no to data centers. I get why Chesterton's saying no to data centers. That's why we have such a great spot in the city of Hammond where all these rejected data centers could come. Come to Hammond.
And Mayor Josh actually in his council recently in Hobart said yes.
Mayor Josh did say yes.
Yeah.
The thing about data centers, that's what people don't realize is just because you say yes doesn't mean anything nowadays, because NIPSCO, each data center pulls enough power to power a steel mill.
U.S. Steel and Gary.
Yes.
That's what.
So the little data center we have on the lakefront pulls enough power to power U.S. Steel. So every data center you build has to have a humongous utility infrastructure built in place for the electric that it's going to pull. And that's the problem. Because, during the last couple presidencies and during the green revolution, we are downsizing our power. We're shutting down coal plants. And this is how Indiana got its power, is through coal plants. We don't have nuclear here. And now that we're shutting down all these plants and going to wind and solar, we don't have the electrical infrastructure to power these data centers.
And talking to NIPSCO, when I spoke to NIPSCO, at least just unofficially off the record, a lot of it was, look, we want a commitment to from the data centers, because if we're going to invest in all this
financial,
sure. I mean, think about if they're going to say, oh yeah, we'll start building electric infrastructure to power these data centers, right? Or buy it off the grid or buy it from the market. And then the data center doesn't happen. NIPSCO's left holding the bag to their shareholders.
True. That's exactly true.
And these are not cheap things to
saying,
do.
You want to build a big data center in Valpo. If you're going to do that, this is what NIPSCO's saying. You got to sign this contract right here. And then what we're going to do is take your signed contract and we're going to shop it around in, Oklahoma and Kansas and places that are offering maybe some solar power we could buy. And we'll gobble up their megawatts and we'll pool it to Indiana to power your data center. But if your data center is not built, we still are obligated for this power that we bought, and that's why they're making all these data center developers sign agreements up front.
So people have to have the money there in place, ready to roll, and that's why you need somebody like the Microsofts of the world to probably come to the table and say, yeah, we'll do it. Now,
did you see Microsoft is buying 3 Mile Island so that they could restart 3 Mile Island as a nuclear power plant, and 100% of 3 Mile Island's electricity that it generates is going to go straight to the data center.
Wow, I did not see that.
Absolutely. That's the future.
So that's what I was going to ask you, because I know you know so much about nuclear power just from being on the sub and being a nuclear electrician, trained that way. But also, you always know a lot about cooling. And so can you explain why, you brought it up kind of just in passing, but I think it's important to talk about how data centers, where they're located, like in Hammond versus like Valpo.
Let's talk about this Valpo proposal that got rejected. Where are they going to get the cooling water from? That's in Hammond, we're on the lake. We pull water out of the lake, we pipe it through the computers, cool them down, and then we put a little bit warmer water back into the lake. If we pull 100 gallons out, we put 100 gallons back in. We got permission to do this. That's why that site makes so much sense. That's why when I hear about these data centers going into the Maravilles of the world or the Valpos of the world or the Chestertons of the world, I'm like, where are they going to get cooling water from?
And who's going to pay? Think about the cost.
Are they going to buy cooling water from Indiana American Water and pay retail rate for cooling water to cool their computers? Because that's got to be incredibly expensive. Because it's incredibly expensive to buy water from Indiana American just for your house, much less to cool computers.
Would they have to do it in a system that just goes round and round and round?
They probably do that. They probably have a pond that's outside, and the outside air cools it, and then they pipe it through. They probably have a closed system, honestly, because they wouldn't want to continuously
couldn't
buy
do take
water.
and replace, obviously.
Right.
Interesting.
So,
John,
I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Valpo. I'm just
John's down on Valpo.
I am down on Valpo. And you know why?
I'm embarrassed on Valpo.
No, I'm down on Valpo. I'll tell you why. Where were these people when they ruined downtown with these huge, ugly structures now? Have you been down there in a while? Massive parking garages.
Oh, yeah. Valpo's like a big city in the downtown.
I hate it. Where were these people?
I used to work in Valpo. Valpo was a small little town when I worked there.
Cute little downtown.
It's beautiful.
When you're driving down Lincoln Way, it feels like you're in a big city. I agree. It's crazy, congested. There's, and I think it's cool. I love Valpo. Valpo's got great restaurants, and I know the mayors. Obviously, the mayor of Valpo. I knew the previous mayor. I knew the mayor before that. So I'm familiar with Valpo, and it's a beautiful city, and it's. I think that's the struggle, though, John, what you just said. I think a city like Valpo wants to still be a small town, but then there's forces in it that want it to be, big and modern, too. And
have all the amenities.
Right. That's the pull.
Yeah. So that's good, but data center bad. And by the way, it's like an environmentalist talking point. There's a quote in the article. It'll use huge amounts of water, huge amounts of fossil fuels. I don't know. It's just these, I don't know.
Rare minerals. Well, I thought that was an interesting article, at least.
Yeah.
So. This was something else that came up. I thought this was crazy. So remember when Janet Mills, the governor of Maine, took on the president. Kind of said something
she
like
didn't
kind of
really
snarky.
take him on.
Not really
He
at all.
sort of took her on, and
I
she
agree.
didn't back down, right?
Correct. I think that's a good character. That's a better character.
Like, I don't think she was picking a fight with him. It was like he was picking a fight with her, and
she was just sitting there eating lunch.
She was just like, what the hell? Like, why are we talking about my state?
And
right?
I think she said something like, we'll see you in court. And Trump was like, yeah, we will see you in court.
That was
or
the most
something
aggressive
like
thing
that.
she
Right.
said. But, like, she didn't pick that fight. She was just sitting there minding her damn business.
nice little,
Yeah.
kind of like older gal.
Right.
Governor of Maine.
I have doubts about this article, though, dude, because I haven't seen this anywhere else but the L.A. or where was this? L.A. Times.
LA
or
Times.
something.
Yeah,
LA
so this
Times.
is interesting. Well, it only lasted a day, and I thought it was just funny.
Yeah.
So, and maybe it's petty. I don't know if it happened. I'm just,
Or what's the other reason? Like, is it a software glitch? Or
we don't
something?
know. Right? We don't know. But out of the blue, the Trump administration canceled the contract that allowed parents in Maine to apply for Social Security numbers for their newborns by simply checking a box on a form, which is the way 99% in all 50 states do it every day. So, like, they were going to make newborn mothers go to the Social Security Administration office and wait in the waiting room to get their kid's Social Security number instead of checking a box.
This doesn't sound like a retaliatory.
It sounds like I don't believe in coincidences.
Yeah, I don't either, John.
Okay.
I do not believe
what
in
a bizarre
Yes.
way to retaliate. That just does. I don't
Go
know.
after the newborn mothers.
Yeah.
Fuck these babies.
Yeah.
You wait. You wait.
I want you to prove their citizens.
You're all gonna get measles waiting in the waiting room.
Oh, no.
I don't believe in coincidences
Okay,
at all.
that's funny, but whatever. So anyway, we're gonna take a break. We're gonna come back and
401k watch.
Yes,
and I realize not everybody's into this. That's why we put it into the third segment.
I think it's interesting.
I think this is real interesting.
It's
like,
Lockpod's financial advisor, Tom McDermott.
Last show we talked about, in my theory, Donald Trump's trying to kill the stock market, and I don't get it. That was the last show, right? I'm coming back to you today with the theory on why Donald Trump wants to kill the stock market right now.
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
Stay tuned.
I think it's true, personally. I definitely think it's true. Marissa and I were talking about it last night, and she's more skeptical than me, but it's a pretty crazy theory.
And you know what's crazy is you mentioned this on the last episode, Tom, and suddenly I've seen tweets about it. I've seen TikToks about it. Like, other people are jumping on this bandwagon.
Yeah, like
that's the power of Lockpod.
It is the power of Lockpod. Well, last episode, like, Tom's big question was why, and we were kind of going through like, what is it, and now we've kind of latched onto this theory. So
it's a solid theory.
It is
man.
an interesting one.
So like, if you believe this theory, basically Donald Trump wants to kill the market right now, and there's a reason why, and not permanently. He wants to kill the market right now, and it's important that he does.
Stay tuned.
So come back in the third segment if you're wondering what's going on with your 401k.
In the meantime, do some ads.
Let's go. MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by checking out their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. For tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511. It was great to see Matt at the event last night.
And Mara.
I know. I haven't seen Mara in a couple of years.
She was in green.
Mara Reardon, the other end of MCR Partners, was there as well. So it's good to see Matt and Mara last night. Thanks for helping my campaign.
Misprint Printing. Elevate your brand with Misprint. Premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana with a 30-year legacy of excellence. Their experienced team, led by Rick Baltonsberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions using the latest innovation and technology. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Frankie V's, no need to dress up. It's a casual place. Bring the whole family. We have plenty of space. A hidden gem in Hammond. You don't have to drive far. Delicious food, great service, and yes, a full bar. Try our homemade pizza chips, Italian beef sausage marinara, and more. We have delicious pizza, pasta, and Italian foods galore. Don't go where they don't remember you. It's just not the same. Come to Frankie V's where everyone really knows your name. Visit us today at thefrankieV's.com for daily specials, full menu, and hours.
Cantrell and Cantrell. Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured? Are you in trouble with the law? If so, give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with somebody who's in the court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW, 219-554-4529, or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, who's Hammond City attorney, by the way, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon is the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nuevo Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Thank you to our sponsors. Appreciate them.
Including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
We couldn't do this show without them. So keep that in mind when you're out there making decisions on who to give your money to. So, hey, you know, on all the finance shows, they always have that disclaimer at the very beginning.
Yes.
Right? They're like, hey, I own stock in this, and, you know, I know nothing personally. I'm doing that right now.
All right.
Okay?
Okay.
Because I don't want to get sued for bad legal or bad financial advice. So, so keep in mind, I know nothing personally. This is my opinion. I could be wrong. But if I'm correct, this good advice could save you money. Okay?
I love it. I love that.
That's good.
I love it.
That's Kevin made me say that.
Smart.
For legal reasons. So. All right. I'm under the impression. I thought mentioned last show. I thought Donald Trump was going to crash the economy before he took over. I was amazed that didn't happen because the stock market at 6150, the S&P I'm talking about, was incredibly overvalued. Like ridiculously overvalued. Everybody knew it. It was being propped up probably with a lot of federal money, no doubt about it. But nonetheless, Donald Trump takes over with an overinflated stock market. All right, and that's not a good start because you want to have a good spread over the 4 years you're president, right? So I'm now it's apparent the way Donald Trump's talking, the way he's acting, talking about tariffs, he is trying to force a quick recession. And I just don't get it. Like, it doesn't make sense to me for a guy like Donald Trump to intentionally want to try to attack the stock market.
Yeah, the thing we talked about the other day, which I was kind of like, okay, you know, these things don't happen short term, right? They don't happen quickly. We were talking about, like, this is the long-term game, and how is he going to get it into a recession, out of a recession, and, you know, be successful by the time his presidency's over?
Because
to me, that was hard to do.
You got 4 years, right,
yeah.
Kev? So if you do a recession in your first year in office, you get it done, right?
I guess, yeah.
The period following recessions are usually boom. You know, interest rates are really low. Inflation's really
Eventually,
low,
right?
Because people weren't spending because they're getting laid off and stuff. So inflation's low, interest rates are low, everybody's buying things, and then that's a boom time in America, right? But you can't control when you have recessions if you're the president. You just sort of get lucky.
Well, I mean, yeah, like look at Biden. He walked into an inflationary because of the pandemic, right? And then it took almost to the end of his presidency for inflation to come under control.
Look at Jimmy Carter.
That's right.
Jimmy Carter couldn't control the economy he had, and when he left, the economy was in a shambles, and he got blamed for it, right?
Forever.
Look at Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton happened to be president when the economy was going through boom times, and Bill Clinton was looked at very fondly because he was president during boom times. So, like, as president, you were sort of lucky or unlucky. Sometimes you got a great economy, and people viewed you as a great president. Sometimes, like Jimmy Carter, you got fucked, and you got a bad economy, right? And then people look back at you like with disgust, like, oh, he was a horrible president.
Mortgage rates were 18%,
right?
Yeah.
So if you're president and you can control when a recession is going to happen, it would be a lot better, right?
Brilliant.
Right? So if you force a recession early in your administration, and then you could recover in year 2 and 3, by year 4, when your vice president's running for re-election, you're in pretty good shape, right? So, like, it's crazy to think this way, right? So why would you intentionally crash the stock market? All right? Because that's what he's trying to do. Well, a theory came out after the last show that I saw, and it's pretty amazing. It's talking about debt and refinancing of our debt. And, you know, we've been piling on a lot of debt lately. In fact, in the year 2022, America took on $7 trillion in new debt.
John, do you have that chart that I threw in there?
Yeah.
This is interesting. This is a chart that I found after I knew Tom was going to do this story. It's pretty amazing. Like, if you look at the long-term debt that needs to be refinanced of the country, and here's the chart. I mean, 2025 is not even close. It's $7 trillion. Everything else is like half or like minuscule compared to it.
So we have to refinance in 2025 $7 trillion. That's basically a 30% or more
30%.
Of our total debt load.
This is true?
It's absolutely true.
Damn.
And if we have to refinance, because some people, when you have debt coming due, you pay it off. But America doesn't pay it off. We just bounce it forward, right? Because we don't have the money to pay off our debt, right?
Classic.
So as this $7 trillion is coming due. We're going to be locking in and refinancing at these high interest rates we have right now, which is like 4.3 on the 10-year. And we're going to pay extra billions/trillions of dollars in interest because we're refinancing $7 trillion at today high interest rate. However, if you could get the Fed to lower the 10-year rate, if you can get them to drop interest rates, then when you refinance this $7 trillion, it's going to be a much lower interest rate, which will save America billions
and just
trillions.
And just to I look at T-bills and T-bonds and stuff because I always feel like it's a safe investment. And there is never
sounds like RFK. Looking at T-bills,
I'm hawking them,
eating palm fruits.
I'm a shill for T-bills. But I mean, if you look at the 30-year, which is always kind of like this benchmark, there's never been, or not, I shouldn't say never been. It has such low interest. I mean, when I interest, I mean not interest rates, but there's so low interest in 30 years because everybody's down on the economy and down because of exactly what Tom's pointing out. The bond market is crazy right now.
The Fed is in control of interest rates in America. And the Fed just doesn't drop interest rates because if you drop interest rates, it causes inflation. Like if they drop interest rates to zero, everybody suddenly goes out and gets new cars, new houses, which overheats the economy and causes inflation, which makes us all poorer. So the Fed is under a mandate to create jobs and to keep inflation down. So they're not just because the president's saying, Jerome Powell, drop interest rates. They're not going to do it. He's independent. He doesn't have to listen to the president like that. His job is to create jobs and to control inflation. So why would the Fed drop interest rates in an inflationary environment? Well, they would drop interest rates if suddenly people lost confidence in the economy and the economy started to crash and people started to get laid off, like we were headed into a recession, and then they would drop interest rates. They could drop interest rates down to the twos. And if they drop the interest rates down into twos and we're refinancing $7 trillion in debt, that will save us
billions,
9, 12 figures. I don't know.
I'm sure in the billions,
yes.
Tens of billions,
hundreds of billions, probably.
Refinancing
probably right. Over 5 more years at 2%, 2 points lower than
$1 trillion, $7 trillion over 5 years.
So basically,
adds up.
To summarize what we've been trying to say is I'm under the impression we've been talking about on LockPod that Donald Trump is trying to kill the stock market, but it didn't make sense. Now that we all realize there's $7 trillion of debt being refinanced in 2025, it's starting to make sense why Donald Trump's attacking the confidence of the consumer. He wants us to be pessimistic. He wants the stock market to tank so that the Fed follows suit and drops interest rates, and then he goes out and refinances $7 trillion.
We talked about this in last episode, but I think you're going
that
to...
is a freaking fiscal...
We'll see what happens.
Warren Buffett did a tweet, or I read a comment from Warren Buffett, said, I'm not here shilling for Donald Trump, guys. He said Donald Trump's making the best business moves America's made in decades.
I did not see that.
He said that today.
Wow.
I did not see that.
I think Warren Buffett knows what's going on.
Usually.
And if Warren Buffett is praising the president, I mean, I'm a stock market guy, and Warren Buffett is the North Pole, all right? If this is what Donald Trump's trying to do, I tip my cap to him. I definitely do. I mean, but keep in mind, if this is what the president's trying to do, your 401k is going to drop 20%.
But hold on, because it's going to come back. Play the long game. At least if you're not 85
panic.
years old.
Don't panic. Don't panic, because the people that lose money when your 401k drops are the ones that sell.
Yeah,
That's you lock in losses.
I think you're going to see a actually contraction of GDP, which is crazy. We talked about this a little bit last time on LockPod, where manufacturing and other things that produce things are going to maybe hold because they may not make that investment right now because they want to see what the heck's happening with tariffs and other things. And then you figure in this theory about the recession. I think you're going to see negative GDP, but at the same time, at the end, we're going to see what happens when the Fed drops rates.
Do you think this is what's happening, Kevin?
I'm not totally as sold as the mayor, but I think it's a very interesting theory, and I can't wait to see what happens.
I am short the market. I've been short the market a long time. I've been pessimistic on the stock market when it was at 5,000, and it's at 6,000. Okay? I got my brains beat in, but I did not sell my shorts.
And I wrote it up, and I held my long. So
I did not sell. So I'm sitting on 6 short contracts right now, and I'm in the money. And I'm, I
have a feeling Tom's going to be better off than I am at the end of the year. But it's kind of one of those things, right? Like, well, Tom was getting killed. I was writing it up. So
now I'm making money, and yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If this tanks, doesn't he lose the Senate and the House then?
Yes.
I think he loses the House. I'm not so
that?
sure about the Senate.
But that's a great point Jill's making, is the midterms it's almost like he's like resigned to lose spots in the midterm just to fix things now.
Which is why it's on like hyperdrive right now to get stuff done.
I think he's prepared to lose the midterms.
I mean,
I
he
agree.
doesn't care, right?
I
I don't think he cares. It's not him. He doesn't give a shit about other people.
Well,
we all know that.
And he lived through a house with not in control anyway, so he knows what it's like.
I think his play right now, he wants J.D. Vance to be the next president because he's in great with J.D. Vance, obviously, and he's going to do everything he can to help him.
Man,
there's also like
you think J.D.'s the play?
Yes, no doubt in my mind. J.D. is a fucking soldier for him, dude. JD is a fucking soldier for the president. He's much better vice president for Trump than Pence was.
I like to just play but the thing about Pence is Pence was always very pro-Trump and was never against him. Whereas JD Vance, you look at his play some videos from JD Vance, 8 years ago.
I know,
and he hates Donald Trump. So where is his brain?
What was one?
He's
of
like,
his
I have
tweets?
power now. I love Donald Trump.
Yeah.
What was that, John?
He had one. There was a tweet from Vance in 2016 or something. It was like, how many women in America has Trump sexually assaulted or something? I'm like, how did this guy become his vice president?
Vice president, man.
Yeah.
So, well, that was it. Actually, is really interesting. And I think we held a lot of our audience. So good job.
We did hold a lot of our audience, and it is something that concerns people. And the markets, the S&P, I talk about because that's the one I follow. It's dropped from 6150 to 5550, which is, I don't know. It's basically it's right around 10%. Which is a correction in stock market talk. So we're technically almost in correction territory, which isn't anything.
Hold on.
You think this is a big drop. You're wrong. This is not even close. We're 10% off the all-time high. Black Monday was like a 30% drop in one day. Okay? That would be like we dropped down another 1,500 points if we were akin to Black Monday. So I'm not trying to be depressing, but this stock market is overinflated, and the president is actively attacking it, which is puzzling.
For legal reasons, Tom may be wrong.
Yeah. Keep in mind, I know nothing personally. This is my opinion. I could be wrong.
I love it.
Yeah, but we did it. We got everything covered that we were supposed to cover today. La Arrolladora. La Arrolladora.
Get your tickets.
Hold on.
La Arrolladora. La Arrolladora.
It's coming right now. Actually, you're killing
La
it now.
Arrolladora.
La Arrolladora.
See?
La Arrolladora.
La
Arrolladora.
La Arrolladora.
Perfect.
See, muy bien.
La Arrolladora. It's the final R's that are tough to do.
I'm good at the
Let's see it again.
schwa. La Arrolladora.
The Adora.
That part.
Yeah.
That's
How about
the
the
hard
Dora part?
La Arrolladora. Yeah. You don't roll the double R's at the end. La Arrolladora.
La Arrolladora. La Arrolladora.
See? There you go. Thank you, Eileen.
Thank you, Eileen.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Eileen, for being a guest on today's show.
Yes. It's like I'm going to hear her voice in my head all night. So thanks for listening to Lockpod, everybody. We appreciate you being here. Jill, great to see you in the studio. You only got one more left, babe.
Yeah.
Ooh,
One
is that
week.
what it is?
Yeah.
I can't read that calendar.
And she has a
so-
life. So.
Next Friday.
She does.
And
I'm
she's
like-
busy
We're done, all
wallpapering
right.
bathrooms.
It's my
She's gonna
side
wall-
hustle.
She's going to wallpaper her whole house. On
Yeah.
that. So. Thank you, Kevin. It's good to see you. Thanks for yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Jay Vez, awesome job.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
you. And thanks to the audience. We got 2 episodes left for season 14, and we're going to take a small break and be back for season 15. It just keeps on, and we just keep
Wow.
on playing.
Our quinceañera.
Sorry,
Yes.
quinceañera.
It's our quinceañera.
Lockpods, quinceañera. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate you. La Arrolladora is playing the Festival of the Lakes. Don't forget to get your tickets ASAP. We appreciate you all. Season 14, episode 21 is in the books. Take care, everybody. Lockpods out.